What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 43 of The Climb. Here with Luzenak today, we are going to be wrapping up the season here in League. Of course, our first season in this division. Is it 6th season or 5th season? I've lost count, everyone. We've been here a while now. 43 episodes by anyone's stretch is pretty good. This is season number 6. How are we here already? I don't even know. Yeah, it's the 24th of May. We are going to be wrapping up the season with a game against our affiliate club, whom I'm not sure are going to be our affiliate for much longer. It's going to be a game against Nancy, which, if you might remember, is how we started the season. So, a chance for us, I guess, to monitor our progress over the last kind of 9 months. And, wow, what a crazy season it has been. Of course, following on from the game against Nancy, we're going to talk a little bit about the plans for the future, hopes, expectations, and aspirations. And, well, since you were last here, things have been going really well. Yes, we perhaps had the biggest win in our club's history. We'll come on to it shortly, but not before we cover the rest of the games. Of course, last episode we took on Nim. A bit of a disappointing draw, really. I feel like on another day we could have won that game. The good news is we got a few wins under our belt, and in some easier games we got results, as well as in one slightly harder game. So the first game, following on from the game against Nim, was against Brest, and we won it via an Addons goal. Yes, the Spaniard out on the right-hand side has shown flashes of brilliance throughout this year. Unfortunately, he's also shown flashes of injury proneness sitting in the physio room. But he got a goal in this one, got us the lead, and, well, following on from that, you might think, oh, 1 win? Maybe it can go into 2 wins. Absolutely not. No, we lost against Monaco. Away from home, a 3-1 defeat, a game that we never really looked in contention to win. I mean, we almost held firm for an hour. It took until the 59th minute for Girard to get the goal for them. But from there, the floodgates kind of opened, and in less than 10 minutes, suddenly it was 3-0. And you kind of sit looking around a bit kind of stunned and dazed, wondering what the hell just happened. Yeah, the floodgates kind of opened, and whilst we did steady them a little bit for the last 22 minutes, and in fact, we did get a goal right before full-time via Dirk Proper kind of scoring from a tight angle. Unfortunately, when you concede 3 goals, you very often aren't going to win that game, and we couldn't even get a draw in this one. Away from home against Monaco, though, in the grand scheme of things, not a game you necessarily look at the start of the year and mark down as easy points to acquire. The good news is we ended the month of April with 2 pretty emphatic wins, beating both Saint Etienne 3-0, Mercier getting 2 goals in this game. This man just gets far too many goals, 7 to his name, channeling his inner Hugo Robert, might I add. And, well, he got a few goals, as did Pelissard. Yes, finally, I want to say the floodgates have opened. They haven't opened, of course, he scored just last episode, Jessim. This goal in this game was the only other goal he'd scored, so make of that what you will. We then took on Toulouse. We went over there, and you might have expected us to lose. We went a goal down as well, but we fought back, and Aratea grabbed 2. Kofi grabbed 2 as well. And yeah, we ended up winning 4-1. Kofi, by the way, what insane development this guy has had over this kind of year. I mean, you can see here, I was taking a peek at it just before we came live today, just how much he has improved. And whilst his determination has dropped in line with the squad's kind of personality, just on the whole, his development has been outstanding. And you look at him now, he's still only 19. He is going to be an incredible striker. And I'm pretty excited to try and get the most out of him, because at 19 years old, he just looks absolutely sensational. And when he grabbed a couple of goals in this game, and he continued his goal scoring, going into the next game where we got a historic win at home against PSG. Yeah, we ended up winning this game 3-2. Mercier got us off to a flyer, and we were 2-0 up through perhaps the goal of the series so far, dare I say. For me, what an incredible goal this was. For Kofi, I mean, he's going to remember this one forever. An incredible effort to put us 2-0 up. They did pick us back on 2 occasions in this game, PSG. They did not give it us for free. It is worth noting that the game before this one, PSG had secured the title, so they had nothing to play for. But we certainly made the most of the moment. Martinez grabbed us a 3rd goal, a really nice finish. And despite a late consolation in the 91st minute, it was too little too late. We won 3-2, not 4-2, 3-2 against PSG. I mean, what a win that is. I kind of wish it had been a live comp, but at the same time, it wasn't, so we can't worry about it too much, unfortunately. And, well, we continued on our winning ways against Bordeaux next, away from home, a 3-0 win. Kofi with 2 in this one, Louis Serre with the other in this game, playing at left-back for us. You might remember we signed him on a pre-contract midway through last season. Hasn't featured that much in the first team, although due to injuries, he has made 12 starts this year. And yeah, he got a goal in that game, to be fair. And well, we continued on winning ways in our most recent game against the Rem, and it was Campo with the goal in the 89th minute, a last gasp winner. Harvey Elliott with the assist, lovely little ball through. He tucked it away, and with that, and with a really good end to the season, we look destined to finish 9th, everyone. Wow, I mean, it's not the most sexy of finishes, is it? A 9th place finish. But you know what? I probably would have taken that at the start of the year. I certainly would have taken it about a month or two into the season. And, well, you can see here, final game of the season is going to be against Nancy. The reality is that we're not going to drop down a position barring an 11-goal swing. On the flip side, we are not going to be able to catch Nantes today. But anyway, before we get into the final game, I do want to just talk about some transfers, because I've done more, everyone. I have done more on the ins. Yes, we've been busy. Obviously, the goalkeeping position, we've got Thomas on loan until the end of next year, but I need longer-term solutions. And it could be a bit stupid, but I've signed 3 goalkeepers. Obviously, Lavallee was already agreed to be joining us, the 22-year-old. A good little goalkeeper, playing for Liverpool. At 22 years old, I think he's a really good free transfer to sign. But I've also signed 2 other players who are happy to be backups, but I think will compete for a number 1 shirt. The first player we've got is Wally, which, I mean, I'll be honest, his first name did play a factor in signing him, but I think as far as goalkeepers go, he is very, very good. Lacking a little on the mental side, I would rather his aerial reach be a little better, but he's a South African international, and we've signed him for £500,000. And the other player we've signed is Valentino Lessier, who is a, well, goalkeeper who's been playing regular first-team football in Ligue 1. He is joining us from Nantes, and yeah, we've managed to get him to agree to join us as a backup. He's capped at under 21 level. He does like a pretty good backup French player. I definitely want to keep a French core to the team and plenty of French players in our ranks. And you know what? We've got 2 of the best young goalkeepers who perhaps haven't quite made it. But between them, I'm hoping one of them is really going to step up over time and be our number 1. So yeah, not going to be short of goalkeepers going into next year. Of course, we've got a whole host of other dealings going on kind of for in the summer, which I'm sure we'll talk about more in the later portion, planning for next year. But yeah, Manan used to say you can never have enough goalkeepers, so I think we've done a good job, really, with the signings there. Anyway, in terms of team news for this game against Nancy, we're in a bit of a pickle, everyone. Not a good pickle either. And you know when you get a burger from McDonald's and it has too many pickles in it? Yeah, one of those kind of pickles. Galvez is injured, Tom Hayden is injured, and Byrne is injured. Yes, 3 of our back 4 are out injured. Not ideal. I mean, the good news is, midfield and attacking-wise, we are fit and raring to go today. And you can see here, Pelissard and Martinez have got a little relationship going. It's very exciting for everyone at the club. But yes, at the back, due to injury, Olawale starts at right back. Luis Serra is going to be at left back. And, well, Marlon Adriano comes in. Certainly not a massive step down in quality. I feel like centre-back-wise, we are pretty good as far as centre-backs go. And he's improved a lot, actually, since he joined us in just January. If we look at his all-time development, look at the arrows. Okay, I'll be honest, it looks a little underwhelming. But in 4 months' time, I'm sure, you know, 8 months into his time at the club, he's going to be really bloody good. That's the hope and dream, isn't it, of every player that you sign. I mean, we got him on a free, so it's a low-risk transfer. And he gets the nod today. He's got a goal and an assist, a 7.0 rating. I think he's got it in his locker. But, yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird, isn't it, when you look at this team? It's pretty different to the team that started the year. Aratea's come in, Pelissard, I am liking, but I feel like he needs to start stepping up a little bit more. Obviously, Marlon Adriano joined us midway through the year. We've not got Kahinde at the back, and unfortunately, Kahinde is actually injured at the moment with a hernia. So, Leon missing out on him. But it is a team that, when you look at it, I think has done pretty well to finish where it's finished. I feel like with the money that we've got in the club now, and assuming that I'm going to have some of it to invest, I feel pretty good to be striving towards kind of I want to say a top 7 finish next year. Is that a little ambitious? Maybe it is. I mean, we look destined to finish 9th, I think it is, right now. I don't think it's got much of a chance of changing, to be honest, but I think that's a testament to how we've done this year. It started off rocky. I think the big issue for us really is we've gone through really good patches and really bad patches. Right now we're on a really good patch, which I'm hoping we're going to end the season with, because of course we beat Nancy at the start of the year, and I do feel like we've got stronger since then. But in terms of the summer, it's going to be one that I think is largely determined by how much money am I going to be given, and you know, what kind of players can we get in. I mean, we've got a load of players agreeing to pre-contracts. I feel like we've got a pretty good grip on where we want to be going next year, and I'm going to be rather happy with the squad. Yeah, Kofi, I think, is the player to build around, to be honest, and he's been very, very good. As Luis has the ball, squares it, Pelissard, Suarez, lovely build-up play, lovely goal, Pelissard. I thought was going to turn and try and get his third goal for the club. No, unselfish, generous. Gives it to Paulie Suarez, the young Colombian, and I know, you know what, Suarez and Martinez, the two Colombians who joined, I don't know what I expected from them this year. I was kind of hoping they'd have a bigger impact, I think, than they have had. But make no mistake, they've chipped in. They've not been flops by any means. They've been ever-present parts of the team. And as we've seen just there, they can do the business when they're called upon. We're a goal up here after half an hour. You can see the league table here. As I said, we can't move up a position. And barring an 11-goal swing and us losing and Saint Etienne winning, we're not going to go down a position either. 9th. I mean, is 9th a good finish? I feel like in a league of 20, first season in the division, you have to be pretty happy with that. Yes, it's kind of a bit mid-table mediocrity. I feel like in a lot of my save games this year in Football Manager, I've either been in a relegation scrap or in a promotion hunt. There's not many years I've had where I feel like we kind of end up with not as much to play for. But today's been one of those years. At the same time, I wouldn't say that bothers me necessarily. I almost feel like that's quite nice to have less high stakes going into the end of the year, less stress. And I think it helps perhaps look at this season as a whole a bit more objectively. I think if you narrowly miss out on European football or you narrowly get it, and the same with like a relegation, staying up or going down, that kind of becomes the dominant talk of the season. Whereas I think because we're finishing in 9th, you can kind of look at things and I suppose just evaluate them for what they are a little more easily without having kind of fresh thoughts in your mind about what could have been. I say all this, 65 minutes in, yes, we're a goal up, but it's been a pretty drab game. Let's bring in Campo out on the right. Julian Blaise I'm going to bring in for Pelissard, and I'm going to move Kofi to the striking position, get some fresh legs in the wide areas. I mean, considering we're without 3 of our back 4, this has actually been a quite good defensive performance. It's not been the most sexy of games. There's not been a whole host of chances. And of course, they will probably now score now that I'm talking about how good our defence is. But, no, we looked okay. We've not conceded too many clear-cut chances. We've not perhaps created enough, but we're kind of cruising along to a victory here. Proper whipping in. Campo on off the bench, hits the woodwork. What a header that would have been from the man who, well, isn't really known for his heading, Campo. Of course, signed for 2 million. That feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it, at the start of the year? We were splashing 2 million on him and thinking that was all the money we were going to spend this year. It's kind of mad how much the financial things here at the club have shifted in the last... well, in the last few months, ever since January, really, with the sale of Kahinde. I guess the Blaise sale could even be thrown in there as another mark on my word. What is happening? It's a good block. Just get the ball away. I'll take the 1-0 win at this time. I don't need a big, sexy win. A win is a win. Campo can't get on the end of that. I mean, they're coming forward again. They're committing a lot of men to the attack here, although the linesman is going to deny them all of that. Raises the flag, says, hey, you're offside, and... it finishes 1-0. What a weird game. I feel like this match kind of sums up the season in a slightly bizarre way. Kind of getting the job done. It wasn't the most sexy or exciting of times, but it was an okay result in the end. 1-0 it finishes against Nancy, our affiliates. We do the double over them. Worth noting that for finishing in 9th in the league, we actually get given 5.88 million, which is not an insignificant sum of money. That's actually really, really nice money for I mean, a club of our size, certainly. Of course, I'm kind of ignoring the fact that we have all the Kahinde money just kind of kicking around. That is a thing that is going on at the club. We've got 50 million. Have the budget's been set for next year yet? I want next year's budgets. Where are they going to be? Have we got an inbox item through about them yet? It doesn't look like we have. Maybe they've already been set. What does it say if we go to the search screen? 13 million and 100,000 wage budget. I think that's the amount from last year, but we'll have to wait and see. You can see my scouts have been busy in South America, by the way. We've got this guy, Dear Miko. Are you all Argentinian or do you have dual nationality? Don't have dual nationality. The limit on 4 non-EU players is always going to be a bit of a cap, I suppose, on how many foreign players we can bring in. But yeah, you can see here, scouts doing their thing. They're finding us some players. Maybe they can find us some better talent going into next year. Anyway, shall we have a look through the end of season awards and all that? Of course, it is the end of season. We finished 9th. I should be really happy about that. And I guess I kind of am. I'm just seeing Kahinde's face here, though, and feeling a little bit sad. Let's have a look at the overall best 11. So here it is. In goal, Thomas Himer. Russo at left-back. Russo, by the way, was playing for Châteauroux, who we met in the French Cup earlier on this year. I didn't talk about it at the time because it was such a minor thing, but since I've seen his face, and I've been, well, my memory's been jogged about it. It's worth acknowledging. Billingsley, who's chilling in the reserves, is at right back. Mercier and Robert in at centre back. Interesting to see Mercier coming in. I mean, he's only been here now a season and a half, but he really has become a bit of a fan favourite. The man, just very capable of getting goals for us. In the midfield, you've got Barane, Bart and Kahinde. Oh, it makes me upset. Although he is injured at the moment. How did he do after he left us? He played 11 games, got a 7.28 average rating, which is not bad, but compared to what he was achieving with us, it's mediocrity. I mean, 45 million for him, I can't complain about it one little bit. Even now, I'm not really complaining about it. Final third, you got El Mutaki. Where did you end up? Oh, you retired. That is sad. Zorbo, please tell me you didn't retire too. You didn't. You've ended up at Red Star. Oh, I'm sad about Mutaki. You got Blaze and Big Dub as well in the Media Dream 11. On the bench, Karen Buali. Where are you, Karen? Retired as a staff member as well. It's just a bit sad. How are you getting on? Still playing for Montpellier. Got another year on his contract. Guibert, the goalkeeper. Guibert, where are you? Everyone's bloody retired. Kofi's there. Nguala probably retired. Yeah. Get Fomba still at the club. Manan, please tell me you've not retired too. Oh, he's still a free agent. Does he want to be? He doesn't want to be a staff member. Well, he's probably going to retire as well. It's a tragedy. It's one of the greatest tragedies. Why is that word hard? Of modern football. All of Luzenak's faithful are retiring. Anyway, end of season awards. Mercier has got Fans Player of the Season. I mean, yes, he's good at scoring headed goals, but feels a little generous to give it to him. You can see Kofi finished runner-up, and he also got Goal of the Season. It was that goal against PSG. Shall we watch it again? Why not watch it twice in one episode? Why not? I feel like it's entirely justified. I feel like it. I mean, he picked the ball up at the edge of his own box. We don't even see it in the highlight because of how long it is. Just runs and runs and runs and then just sledgehammer blow. What a goal. What a goal, Kofi. That will live long in the memory. Signing of the season is Proper, which is a proper good signing. Signed for 1.3 million as kind of a buy now after we had pre-agreed a contract. He put in really good numbers. Did he put in Kahinde-esque numbers? I'll tell you what, they weren't a world away, really. Yeah, he really did do a good job. Mercier as well, getting Young Player of the Year. Obviously, you can see the season review here. We started the season quite well, you might remember, and then it all kind of went to rubbish. And in fact, you can see here, for one game week, we were in 18th. For one game week, we were in the relegation playoff spots. But we slowly but surely plugged it back. And to be fair, ever since kind of game week 25, so with about 13 games left of the season, we've been in and amongst the mid-table pack. Ultimately, we peaked at the right moment. Finishing 9th in the end is a really, really good feat. I'm very happy about it. You can see Metz, who we were promoted with, they started the season really well, and then their kind of form took a dip. It was kind of the tale of two seasons, I guess, for us and Metz. Ultimately, we ended up finishing on top. You can see here Cannes, who were promoted with us, finishing 2nd in the league, I think. I think they finished behind Metz. They've gone straight back down. Strasbourg going down with them, Brest into the playoffs. Those three teams were always struggling, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, since kind of January, they've been down. Just couldn't mount the Great Escape, unfortunately. Anyway, if we look at club expectation and meeting and, well, all the board happiness, they expect for next season a mid-table finish. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think that is pretty achievable, so we will accept that. The team meeting, boys, what are you wanting? I'm going to go passionate. We can be mid-table. Look at that. They love it. They love it. We are a mid-table team and the players believe it. I feel like whatever the players believe is a pretty good reflection of where the team is actually at. Anyway, you can see here, apparently Bastia won in Dilu. I don't know how to feel about that. Anyway, you can see here, board, youth and stadium facilities are going to be upgraded. That's 2.4 million there. The budgets have been set. What did you set us? 33 million. Oh, I'm going to get a bit excited here. Club is currently spending 217k on wages. The wage budget is more than doubled. The transfer budget is 33 million. Oh, I'm going to have to... I feel like I need to be targeting European football with that kind of money. That is ridiculous. You can see here as well, obviously we've got Xavi Simons joining us, Noah Kene, who I'm hoping hasn't been injured since January. He's had his fair share of issues. It looks like he hasn't, which is good. I'm hoping that he's going to come in and be a bit of a revelation. Definitely lacked a bit of strength in depth in midfield. Of course, we've got Barry Marsden joining us from Tottenham as well, who looks like a top quality centre-back. I do wonder if with his jumping reach, his heading and his height, he might take Mercier's spot as being the set-piece king, the next Hugo Robert. It's like a title that gets passed down through Luzenac generations. Barry might be next in line for the throne. But yeah, that is some crazy, crazy money that I'm going to have to obviously think about. Worth noting, we've still got the new stadium being built. I believe it's going to be done for the end of the summer. Apparently we're going to move into the stadium on the 16th of June 2025. I would like to rename the stadium. If you don't know, in a similar way to how you can rename teams with patches, so you might know Juventus obviously don't have the correct name, Brazilian teams don't have the correct names, and you can actually patch that through kind of changing some files in Football Manager. You can do that for stadiums as well. I might rename the new stadium something, but I don't know what to name it. And I know I've asked for some suggestions before, but I'm asking for some suggestions again, because I don't really want to move from the Luzenac Pyrenees Stadium to the Luzenac Pyrenees Stadium. It's just a bit lame having the same stadium name twice in a row. Also, I'm going to have to think about some new stadium art if we're moving into a new ground during the summer. That's going to be something worth keeping, I suppose, an eager eye on. Anyway, in terms of the squad, obviously things changed quite a lot this year with the money that came in halfway through. But I think if we're looking at things from a kind of purely squad improvement standpoint, in fact, let's plan next year's starting 11. I think that's a good way to do this. So I think realistically, Mercier is probably going to be the man to make way for Marsden, the new centre-back. I feel like Byrne. I do like Byrne, and he has improved a fair bit. I feel like actually centre-back is where things are up for grabs. I do wonder if Marlon Adriano might be the player to play instead of Byrne. I mean, Byrne is a lot better now. It's one of those things where I feel like we need to give Marlon Adriano game time. We need to bed him in. But equally, Johnny Byrne is a very, very good centre-back. It could be the Byrne and Marsden show to start the year. I really like how good Marsden is in the air. I think he's going to be absolutely superb. Also, Byrne, bizarrely, you might have noticed, he can play left back and left wing back, but he's only right-footed. So I don't know if I should now be playing him at left centre-back. Apparently, he prefers to be in the middle of a back three, but he doesn't have any preference when it comes to a back two. I suppose it will shuffle things around. Of course, we're going to have Xavi Simons coming in for Proper. And we've also got Kene coming in from Swansea. The question, I suppose, is he better than Paul Suarez? And the honest answer is, he absolutely is. Yes, he's not got the same mentals, but from a kind of technical standpoint, he is just a more complete player, equally as good defensively. He's only 22 as well, with some potential that I think is a little unfulfilled. So I think he's very likely to come in midfield. I mean, from an attacking perspective, I think Kofi next year needs to probably play as the striker. Arateo, when he's been fit, has been really good out on the right. The caveat is when he's been fit. Of course, we've got Blaze on loan for another year. Willian is retiring. Harvey Elliott is going to be on his way out. Obviously, we've got Olawale as well, who I feel bad for because I'm playing Galvez ahead of him. As we've seen in earlier episodes this season, Galvez is just a way better wing-back. I feel like Olawale is going to end up being the kind of Swiss Army knife of a defender. We're currently training him to play centre-back. I think, realistically, he's kind of going to end up being this jack-of-all-trades, master of none. You know, the player who you have on your bench who just covers all bases. Kind of a super versatile defensive option, which I don't think is necessarily the worst role in the world for him. I'm hoping that he's going to be able to make his peace with the universe about that. I feel like we've talked about it before, the star ratings are just a little bit rubbish when it comes to indicating how good players are. I think recent form plays too big a factor. But there will be, I think, some ingoings and outgoings. I look at the goalkeepers, Georgelin, for example, backup keeper, and also Paul. We've got three now very good goalkeepers coming in who are probably going to be eclipsing their spots. Elsewhere, players like Garreau was a really good player a couple of years ago, a player who was a good squad player. Realistically, am I going to play him much in Ligue 1? Probably not. He's almost certainly a player who can just go down to the reserves. Maybe we will look to sell him to save some money. Mitrovic as well, good experience this year, but we've got some very good centre-backs in the squad. He's probably down in the reserve team. Obviously, Georgelin, Elliott, Willian and Paul are all kind of going to be going for various reasons, be that retirement, returning from loan, or I'm just going to look to sell them. I guess suddenly the squad looks a little less fat now. Maybe this is the squad that we've got as a base to kind of begin with going into this year. But all in all, I'm very happy. I think at left back and right back we're sorted. It's a really good area of the pitch, I think, to get kind of solved. Hopefully the injuries that both Galvez and Hayden have had are kind of momentary things rather than kind of signs of things to come, although it's worth noting in Galvez's case he has had a lot of injuries this year. Bruised knee, tight groin, double hernia, abdominal strain, currently out with a broken toe, which is obviously why he's been out for the kind of season finale. That is a bit of a concern, but obviously Oluwole is a really good right back to just come in and slot right away. I think Martinez, I don't want to say he's been a disappointment, but I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, which might feel a little harsh. But he has proven his worth. He's been a very, very good player this year. Similarly to Suarez, he hasn't improved as much as I was kind of hoping he might over the course of a year. Of course, he has learnt in the meantime to play centre attacking mid naturally, which is where he's been playing all year. So maybe we give him the benefit of the doubt. But I do feel like with our current squad, we've got a very, very good team. With the players we've got coming in, I think they're going to elevate us up. The big question is, what do you spend 33 million on? I mean, I know someone's going to be going, re-sign Julian Blaise. I feel like Blaise for 22 million, even if I could sign him, which I can't because he's on loan with us for another year. Even if I could sign him, I think 22 million just isn't value in the market in a position where we already have a fair bit of squad depth. I mean, when you look here, you can see every single player who we've got left in the team has played a decent number of games this year. None of the players here have kind of been super fringe players. From a goal-scoring perspective, I guess the concern is that the goals have been kind of spread, and whilst Kofi and Blaise kind of kicked on towards the end of the season, the reason we struggled earlier on is because they weren't kicking on. They didn't really find their level. Kofi this year, by the way, absolutely superb. He's got 7 assists to his name. Obviously, Martinez and Campo also chipping in with good amounts. I feel like there was a lot of pressure on Campo when he came into the club for 2 million. Obviously, that pressure is kind of alleviated now because of how much money we now have to spend. In context, 2 million at the time was crazy. Kind of 9 months on, it's not that much money, which is kind of a weird way that things have kind of transpired this year. But he's chipped in with some good numbers, 5 goals, 6 assists. Towards the end of the year, I did end up dropping in for Aratea. I just think Aratea's extra bit of pace, extra bit of agility kind of makes him the better option. At the same time, though, I think it's great to have competition in those areas. I think when I think about it super objectively, Big Dub probably isn't good enough, and maybe just getting in a top quality centre attacking mid is the way to go. I mean, Martinez isn't bad quality though. This is the issue, right? We've got ball winning midfielder sorted. We've got deep line playmaker sorted. Blaise is on loan for another year. Realistically, he could come in and play inside forward on the left. If you were looking at gaps that we immediately needed to address in the team, I feel like we've got them addressed with the players that are coming in, which I suppose is just a great situation for us to find ourselves in. It's going to be weird. If there's any specific positions that you would be kind of looking at, then maybe I'm completely ignoring. Please do let me know. But I don't know. We've got such a young squad now. There's part of me that wants to just kind of let it develop, let it do its thing. And the squad depth itself, you know what? Once the new goalkeepers come in, once the centre-backs and centre-mids come in, doesn't look that bad. Maybe we're light of a centre-mid or two. But I think when you look across the team as a whole, it's quite well built, to be honest. We've gone from, I feel like our business after the summer, kind of in January, has kind of been the best bit of business we've perhaps ever done at the club. As I've said, Xavi Simons is going to be exciting, and Kene as well. 2 players who, they're not the best going forward, but from a defensive perspective, they are both pretty capable defensive kind of players who have a fair bit of creativity. I think they're going to be really complementary to one another, of course. A bit of pressure perhaps on them both at 22 years old, especially Simons, just because he's been on loan at Strasbourg this year where he hasn't been afforded opportunities. But I'm pretty confident when I look at him, he is a player who can slot straight into the deep line playmaker in our system and kind of make things work for us. He's got great player traits. You can see here, formerly of Barcelona. This guy has calibre. Even on loan at Ajaccio a few years ago, he ran the show for them in Ligue 2. Obviously, last couple of years he's been in Ligue 1, playing for kind of strugglers. I don't know. I feel like we're going to get a lot out of Xavi Simons. Put it that way. I'm very, very confident in that. I suppose the big question becomes, where's the money going to go? I do wonder if a big striking signing might be the option. Maybe we move Kofi out wide and then try and find some absolutely phenomenal forward. I don't really know, really. I'm just talking aloud at this point, thinking about things. Where would I like to address things? I think fullback-wise we're good. I think centre-back-wise we're good. Got a new goalkeeper coming in. Got 2 new centre-mids coming in. I mean, realistically, you are looking at the final third and thinking, where could we improve things? And I think a striker and a centre-attacking mid are perhaps the 2 things highest on my shopping list, as well as perhaps just a little bit of more squad depth. I think squad depth would be something perhaps worth just evaluating, because This year we did have injuries, and it did kind of impact how things were playing out. Anyway, in terms of my player of the season, I realise I've not talked about this. I think my player of the season would probably be Kofi, which might seem really bizarre because he's not got the highest average rating, but when he performed, he really did carry. He was top goal scorer. He was only one assist away from being top assister. I think Young Player of the Year for me would probably go, and I don't want to just give it to Kofi again because that's just a bit boring. It would probably go to Tom Hayden. Obviously joined us in January, made a really big impact on us. A lot of money spent really for us, 2.8 million for a player we knew we were going to be able to get on a free at the end of the year. But 4 assists, 1 player of the match, a 7.37 average rating's been really good. He has been a pleasant surprise. In terms of my, I guess, surprise package, player who's performed who I didn't expect to perform, it probably has to be Mercier. I mean, you look at him, he probably shouldn't be good enough for this level. He's super well-rounded, don't get me wrong. He's not a bad centre-back by any means. But for a player that Sochaux were willing to give up for a free, to go from that to being a player who has now played pretty much as a regular starter for the last season and a half, I think is undeniably a surprise. I think as well just how well he's performed at this level. I've already talked about the fact I'm probably going to be dropping him, which might seem really harsh, but it's just necessary, I feel like. But at the same time, without a doubt, been the surprise package for me. He's been a really, really good player. And signing of the season, I mean, am I allowed to be... Can signing of the season be Kahinde for the sale? Because I feel like it has to be. That is a sale that just kind of sets us up for long-term success. And I'm quite excited to see what we can do with the money in the summer. It's going to be a long summer. Just on that note, there may not be an episode tomorrow, just so you're aware. If you're watching this live, don't panic if there isn't a new video. Obviously, it takes a long time to play through the summers. Equally, if you're watching in the distant future and binge watching in the year 2022, hello, welcome. Let me know that you're watching from 2022. I hope the world is a nice place. And, well, also, just on that note, you don't need to worry. There's the next episode's there for you to watch now. It's there. It's just click it. The playlist. It's in the description. Anyway, I'm done today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you make of this season. It's a weird one, right? But I think ultimately it's ended on a pretty good note. We're not worlds away from Europe in terms of points. And I think with the money we've got, we should only be getting stronger. And that is a pretty exciting thought, if you ask me. But anyway, that is all from me. It is me, Jack. Thank you for watching. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.